Stadium. We'll pull the names in just a bit. Come on out, have a pint, and say hello. Try to win 4 tickets to Commanders-Ravens. On the Ruud guest hotline right now, Ruud, the most reliable heating and air conditioning products in the DMV. We've got a gentleman who finished with 95.5 sacks, the most in team history in his NFL career, and then became an assistant coach. Time flies, by the way, because it feels like Ryan Kerrigan's entering his second season as a coach, and now he's been a mainstay on this staff, coaching up the defensive line for years. But our buddy Ryan Kerrigan is back with us on Grant and Danny here on The Fan. Ryan, thanks for the time, man. How you been?
Doing great, man. Great to be back on with you guys. And, you guys got a great venue there. I mean, it's a hell of a place, man. So, thanks for having me on.
Oh, we're excited. Yeah, it's been fun. We got a lot of fans out here excited for the start of the season. Now we have to refer to him as Coach Kerrigan.
That's Coach Kerrigan to you, man.
As of 2022, assistant defensive line coach, and he's worked his way up now into the linebacker and pass rushing specialist roles. So how has the transition gone for you? Initially, I wonder if it's like, your buddy who graduated 2 years ago is like your substitute teacher back from college, where guys are like, dude, I just played with you, and now you're yelling at me about hand placement. What was that like?
It's surprisingly, I kind of had that thought in my mind, like, how is this going to be coaching guys that I played with? But honestly, I think that really helped. Not only give me some credit at the same time, because guys, trusted me, and they knew that I had been in the fights with them before, so they knew that what I was saying was legit, and what I was saying, was what I really believed would help them. And so that's, I feel like that, gave me some credibility, at the get-go. And then, as time's gone on, it's just, gotten better. So I'm enjoying my role, and, hoping I can keep, helping guys get better.
What's the hardest part about actually becoming a coach? I mean, doing it at such a high level like you did for so long, Ryan. So many different players have heard that calling and have gone and become coaches, good, bad, kind of everything in between. What was a hidden challenge maybe that you didn't realize how hard that was going to be?
I'd say, it's you got to coach. Different guys have different skill sets and different strengths, and so you can't be, cookie cutter or one size fits all, especially on the defensive line, because you got different body types that play the same position, and so. Some guys are, a little stronger. Some guys are a little faster, or some guys might bend a little bit better. So you can't just try to make everything, cookie cutter, and this is the way we're doing things. You got to kind of adapt to what the guys do best. And so I think that's been, one of the biggest, that's been not necessarily a challenge, but just something that's allowed me, I think, to grow, as a coach and in my understanding of football.
Ryan Kerrigan with us on Grant and Danny here on The Fan. Pumped to have him on for the first time, really, as a coach on this staff, to get to pick his brain on what that transition's been like. He joins us on behalf of the new Old Spice NFL collection, available now at Walmart. You may not play in the NFL, but you can smell like you do. I'm also an Old Spice guy, Ryan. I've been an Old Spice guy. Initially, in like middle school, they give you that red tube with
give you the first stick,
blue stick, and it burns your armpits like you're putting acid under there. But then you go transition to Old Spice, and it actually doesn't hurt anymore, and it smells really good. I'm a Fiji Old Spice guy, just so you know.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I was telling some of the guys earlier. I remember my dad. When I was a little kid, he had the Old Spice. He had the original Old Spice, and I'd always be like, "Oh, Dad, let me put some on. I want to smell good too, like you." And he'd act like he's rubbing it on my armpits, even though the cap was just on. But I didn't know any different. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I smell great now." But it was great working with Old Spice today. Got to meet Cedric, who is doing a lot of great work with Big Brother, Big Sister in DC, and really helping out our community, and doing that on behalf of Old Spice and their NFL collection was really fun today.
So, Ryan, this is a philosophical question for you. As you go on in your coaching career, I think there are two distinct paths a coach can go, right? There's the forever in shape coach, like think Sean McVay, can't wait to be seen with his shirt off, kind of a deal. You were known for being chiseled, ripped, super jacked, like an enormous Superman. Or do you go like mustache potbelly one day? You know what I mean? Like, you've earned that right with all the deposits you put in the bank. Where do you think you're going to be? You wake up in 10 years. Is Ryan Kerrigan like overweight coach back in my day, or are you still like first to work out among the position group?
If it's up to me, I'll be in shape. I mean, I had a coach way back when that that said, when you're done playing, you go one way or the other. You either go up or down. You don't really stay the same. And he looked at me. He goes, Ryan, I think you might go up. And I just at that point I was like, no. I was like, nope, not gonna be me. And so, yeah, it was. And so I was like, not gonna be me. And so if I can have a say in that, I'll stay in shape and try to be healthy in that way.
Well, you definitely haven't. What's your difference in your weight from your playing days? Because when you see pictures of
it's
how
unbelievable,
gigantically swole you were to now, not to say this probably isn't what you want to hear, that you look slender, but like you're a different looking
well,
body.
compared to that monster you were before, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm about probably 45 down, when I played. I'm about 220 right now. It's 65 typically tipping the scales, and I always kind of had that in my mind. I was like, if I don't have to be super big, I don't necessarily want to be, and so I worked hard to get the weight off, and hopefully I can keep it off. But yeah, definitely you see old pictures and it's like, yeah, it was fun. You got to eat just whatever the hell you wanted, as much as you wanted. So it was fun getting to that weight. But now it's got to keep it off now.
Ryan, as a pass rushing coach for the team, you guys have this super raw pass rusher I'm intrigued by.
Young kid.
You got to work with this kid, this Von Miller guy. I think he's got something. You got to work with him on a few things, though. What has that rapport been like, and what do you see from Von? How much does he have left in the tank?
Yeah, he's a young guy still trying to, cut his teeth in the NFL and still trying to figure it out. But no, Von's been awesome, man. And it's so cool that a guy with his kind of accolades, his kind of background, we're talking about a Super Bowl MVP here. And he's in the meeting rooms taking diligent notes, he's and about everything, about, our install, about our mindset, about just everything. And he's really, I think, rubbed off on guys in that way. In that, you see guys, seeing this guy who's got 130 career sacks, taking notes, asking different questions, asking about technique, asking about the scheme. They see that and they all kind of want to up their game and be like him. And so it's been great. He's been a great presence, and he's definitely a guy that I think and I believe still, is playing can play at a high level, and we're hoping he does for us this year.
Ryan Kerrigan with us here on Grant and Danny. Ryan, give me kind of the vision for this defensive line. Obviously, Von Miller is the name. That's a future gold jacket guy, a superstar. But, additions this offseason, guys like Dietrich Wise and Eddie Goldman and Javon Kinlaw and, Dorrance Armstrong back, Deron Payne returning. How do you see this? Is it hockey lines kind of keeping guys fresh? Is it first and second down, we're stuffing the run, then unleashing on passing downs? Like, how do you see this defensive line working together as a unit and maybe individually some of the roles?
Yeah, we got a big physical group. You mentioned Wise, you mentioned Kinlaw. Those are some heavy-handed physical players. Deron Payne's had a really great camp as well. DA, Dorrance Armstrong, he's looked outstanding. And then, Vaughn's come in and, like I said, been a really great presence and he's had a really strong camp too. So, we definitely have the pieces there. We just have to prove it each day. And it's not, about just proving it at one game or proving it for 2 games or proving it for one practice, but just consistently building our habits, which I think we've done a great job of throughout the off season, not only training camp, but in the springtime as well. Just continue to build the habits and trying to lay the foundation for what we're hoping is, a successful defense and a successful season.
Ryan, I do this podcast with our mutual buddy Logan Paulson, who you played with, Take Command, and we were talking about this D-line as one of the more intriguing areas where, really good players that are going to play elsewhere are going to get cut because there's so many talented pieces and just not enough seats in the room, essentially. But I bring this up to say we were talking about the shift from even, it sounds like now we're acting like you played 20 years ago, but the prime of your era to now. I feel like I'm old enough to remember you would get 4 defensive linemen that were your starters that played every down until they retired. Then they came off, and then the backups went in. And now it feels more like a bullpen in baseball, right? Where, all right, this lefty gets lefties. This righty's got to change up, so we like him in these matchups. I feel like that's kind of what you guys are doing, and that's analytically how the league is trending. this guy's really good on pass rushing third downs. We could get this guy in and running downs. And it's all kind of situationally based to maximize everybody. Is there something to that as an actual trend, or is that more just what you guys are leaning into because that's what you need to do right now?
Well, you certainly want to put guys in positions where they're going to succeed the best. And that's, priority number one, not only for the player, but for the team as well. And that's going to, that's going to help them and it's going to help the team. But I think too, there's a big emphasis now, we know and we have depth, and we want to be able to utilize that so that guys are fresh, not only in the fourth quarter of a game, but also, throughout the season, so that they're not, feeling worn down and tired by week 7, week 8 of the season, and they look up at the calendar like, oh my gosh, I still got halfway to go. And so, it's definitely, it's different in that regard. You're right. From when I played, and I still remember when, I first got there, position coach looked at me and he said, there's no tapping your helmet, man. Like when defense is out there, you're out there. And so I just kind of took that mindset and went with it. But it's different now. And I think it's good for guys, not only for the team and for us being able to, roll fresh bodies in there, but, for the guys in their careers, not only this season, but going forward.
What are metrics for success for you guys on defense this year? I mean, any idiot like me can go, they gave up 7 yards a play. That was 15th or whatever. That sort of stuff comes and goes and can be so situationally dependent. What do you look at? What are you guys talking about this year for kind of the way we say, hey, if we meet this, we'll be successful?
Metric-wise, not really anything specifically metric-wise. We just know we have to be sound in the run game. That's where it's got to start. I mean, for as much as the passing game became sophisticated throughout a lot of my playing career, the running game's becoming that way again in football. I mean, you're seeing teams that do a lot of, exotic motions and different shifts to, to try to, gain leverage and, get guys out of gaps. And so we got to be really sound in the run game. And if we can do that, we got some guys that can really, affect the quarterback and really cover in the back end. So, that's what it comes down to. Everyone has to, do their jobs, and really it starts in the run game, like I said.
All right, Ryan, a couple of things before we let you go. Off the beaten path here for a second. So yesterday on the show, we found out that Danny took Toby, who's with us right now, to the gym. Okay, Toby's one of our assistant producers. They did like a Fitness Wednesday thing. Toby, when was the last time you were in the gym before that?
An embarrassing long time.
Okay. So Danny takes Toby to the gym. He's willing to go. By the end of it, he is vomiting in the bathroom, and his arms are still tired right now. I'm telling Danny he should feel terrible, and he overdid it as a physical trainer.
Yeah.
As a gym rat like yourself, what level of bad should Danny feel having put together the workout for Toby?
I mean, I feel like Danny should feel like a good friend. I mean, he took him to the gym. I mean, he put him through a workout that clearly was working him out. I think that's a good friend. You're a good friend, Danny.
Well, thank you, Ryan Kerrigan.
Ryan, I tell you the line that I told him, it said he feels bad that it made me throw up. I said he should feel bad if he didn't make me throw up because I'm so fat and out of shape.
Well put.
All right, so Kerrigan's team here?
Team me. So excuse me, Coach Kerrigan. I want to make sure we keep the formal here.
That's true.
We did an EMOM, so 10 exercises
Coach
going around.
Kerrigan, please, if you please, sir.
Coach Kerrigan, if you please, sir.
Yeah.
Your lordship, Coach Kerrigan. We did it. So the first round, we go through, and he's not even breathing hard. It's like no problem. And I'm like, oh my God, I undershot it. Midway through the second round, he all of a sudden, and he's Filipino, he turned white. Like he was whiter than me. And he's like, I got to stop. And a guy came out. This is the part that gets bad, is a dude that we don't know came out of the locker room and was like, hey, is that other guy with you? You might want to go check on him. I think you pushed him too hard. And I walk in as Toby is calling dinosaurs. It was tough.
Well, now I will say an EMOM for a workout that for someone that hadn't worked out in a while, that might be a little aggressive, but I stand by what I said. You're a good friend, yes. and you did the right thing.
Yes.
Second thing, Trey Hendrickson has to owe you residuals, right? This guy's number 91. He has
what's
the
he doing?
Same haircut as you. You guys are both white edge rushers. Like, I look at him and I see you. Do you ever look at him and be like, wait, I'm still playing?
You're still in my act.
My wife said the same thing the other night. She goes, they showed him on TV, and I'm like, and she's like, and he looks just like you, and I'm
He
like,
really
I mean,
does.
I saw him, before the game, so I was like, yeah, you're kind of right. I mean, we do have a lot of look similar. I mean, similar haircut, similar build, all that, So I mean, I got nothing to say. I just
It's
you guys
wild.
are right.
If like at the end of your
Yeah.
career they put you with the Commanders or the Redskins gear, and then the Eagles, and then they just put Hendrickson with the Bengals, like I think there's plenty of people 20 years from now that won't stop and go,
Like-
that's not him.
Like I know it sounds like it's like we're being kind of like you guys look like brothers.
They really do.
Like in your headshots on Pro Football Reference or whatever, it's like
Dude,
you're the
Kerrigan-
same size.
Coach Kerrigan.
Coach
please.
Kerrigan, if you please, your
If you
lordship.
please, lordship. He walked so
Yeah.
that Hendrickson could run.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Last one, serious football. Be remiss if we didn't ask you this. Obviously, Terry McLaurin's not there yet. I know you're not the head coach or the GM, and that it's not your job. But what has that been like for you guys? Is it a distraction as we're chasing him around the facility, and so many people are talking about it outside the building?
That's not something I'm going to really talk about or comment on. I just, I'm just focused on the defense and defensive line and trying to think of ways we can, get better, stop the run, and get after the Q.
He's a coach.
Coach Kerrigan,
Look at
if you
that.
please.
Head coach next stop. Let's
Tell me
go,
that.
Ryan Kerrigan. He's got this thing
Perfect.
down. By the way, Danny, another guy with 4 kids, all named after presidents. Although I think we only have one crossover name, right? Lincoln's the only one. Like we both are using. We're looking at different name calls.
Yeah, I think you have a Truman, right? I have a Truman who's a dog. So
Okay, that's different.
So we
Yes.
got that.
We got the
Yeah,
crossover
we got
dog
that.
human. So I've got Reagan,
Right.
Truman, McKinley, Lincoln.
Now Grant's Truman's got that dog in him, so that's kind of similar.
Very similar.
Right?
Yes.
No, well put, man. That was well done. Well done. Yeah, I got Lincoln, Hayes, Carter, and Ford. And so we got Lincoln crossing over. That's the crossover
Good
name
Venn
there.
diagram. Well, I will tell you, if you guys have a 5th, you win, because I am tapping out right here at 4. So if you want to win the competition,
It's all you.
Next one seals the deal, my friend. It could be all yours.
Next point wins.
Right on, man.
See you, Ryan. Good catching up with you. Thank
to
you
catch
for
up with you,
hopping
buddy.
aboard.
All right, appreciate you guys.
Love talking to Ryan Kerrigan. What a great player he was. Good
The
dude.
best.
And now helping the team on the coaching staff. And a lot of guys